I love it, Greg. We're going right to picks here, and the Browns are favored by 9 in this one for the reason you said. The Steelers are sitting a number of starters, and I'm going with the Browns. And I do expect Myles Garrett to have a huge game, even though we're down Denzel Ward. I feel like this entire Browns team, if you paid attention this week, I mean, they are a motivated bunch. Some of the guys that didn't get a chance to play last week are ready to get back in there and make some noise. Cynthia, what do you got for us?
Totally with you on the winner. I have the Browns. I have 26-18, 8 points in this one. I think it's just going to be a matter of the run game. Like I said, I think it's going to be strong run game from both Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb. That's going to seal the deal, and they're going to go right into the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. I have the Browns winning by 7. We're on meme alert here, but I don't think they can get us. Baker Mayfield's been playing well, and you mentioned the running game. This is not going to be the same Steelers defense that we have seen throughout the course of the season. We might see a rematch, though, in the playoffs. Browns-Steelers next week. We'll see. Bills are favored by 3 in this game. I think that's odd. I have the Dolphins winning this game by 12 points. I really believe you have to look at motivation, and I know I don't have the answers right now, but the history of these teams and in these situations tells us McDermott's probably not going to play to win. Plus, the Steelers aren't doing it either. I feel good about this. When McDermott doesn't say whether he's playing his starters, that means he's made a decision. If he was playing to win, I think he'd say so, Cynthia. I know it's hard to guess, but that's where I'm sticking.
Well, as of right now, this is one of my finest because I think, given everything that we know, or more rather that we don't know, which is why you got to come back on Sunday, I think this 27-22. Now, this assumes that kind of everyone available is starting and playing maybe 75, 80% of the game. So maybe not the entire game, but a nice win so that they can solidify a really good momentum and keep their momentum up going into the playoffs.
You know, this is a check back. I'm waiting to get more information just like you guys. As of now, I'm going with the Bills. I feel good about them, and I hope Sean McDermott plays Josh Allen. I know he has an outside chance, man, but let him put an exclamation mark on this season and create a real debate about the MVP. He's earned it. He's played lights out, and I'm hoping that he gets to put it all on display one more time for everybody watching. Before we jump into the NFC, just to make sure we're all aligned here, I don't want to assume, but we're all going Ravens over Bengals, right, Cynthia?
Yeah, I have a pretty big one there. 30-16 is my final score projected. Just a nice, solid Ravens win. Play anyone if you're playing daily fantasy, for sure.
Yeah, I have a 2-touchdown win from the Ravens. I like Brandon Allen, the Bengals quarterback, but I don't like him that much. Lamar to the playoffs, we need to see it.
I know Bengals fans are going to hate me because they've been balling the last couple of weeks, and I still won't pick them. But I love you, Cincinnati. Who they? I'm going Ravens with that. All right, the Washington football team is favored by 3 in this one. We'll get the picks. I'm going with the Eagles. And again, to Cynthia's point, there's a lot of information we don't have yet. And I'm going to assume right now Alex Smith isn't playing. So I'm going with the Eagles. I do think we'll see a nice game out of Jalen Hurts. And if it's not Smith at the quarterback position, if you look at the way Washington's played, it has not been great. So I'm sticking with Philly for now. Check back on Sunday. Cynthia, what do you got for me?
I have Washington making it as the NFC East champ. I think that the score is going to be 21-17. So dramatic, so dramatic. If Fletcher Cox doesn't play, that number could be even bigger.
Yeah, I like Washington too. I have them 23-16. You know, we mentioned they're favored by just a couple points. This is the one week I think where there's really opportunities out there. I feel as good about this Washington pick and the Miami pick as just about any picks all year. Because if you look at what Philadelphia did with their injury report, Miles Sanders is out, Derek Barnett's out, Fletcher Cox is out, Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, some guys that we didn't even know were totally hurt are out. They do not need this game. Washington has all the motivation in the world, and that means you are flying solo, Hawk, by the way. You got to stick to it. Right now, there it is, my favorite sound effect. The Cowboys are favored in this game by 1.5, and I'm going with the Giants for the dumbest reason possible. I always remember those Cowboys teams who would make it to week 17 and they'd blow it year after year. 2011, 12, and 13. They would get to week 17 and Romo and the Cowboys would blow it. I think it's going to happen again against the Giants this Sunday.
Not going to happen per my math. I'm 24-22. I have the Cowboys winning this one. If you look to see, they've actually ticked up their pressure lately. And I told you I didn't like the pressures on Daniel Jones. So the interesting part here is that I think there's going to be a nice close game, but Cowboys, Andy Dalton Bowl, it works out.
I love it, Cynthia. We're on the same page. I'm going Cowboys again, baby. How about that, Greg? I don't care what you think. You're flying solo. Enjoy being on the wrong side of Dalton history, okay? I love it. Let's go right to game picks here. Cardinals are favored in this one by 3. I'm with you, Greg. I think this Rams defense is the real deal, and I think they walk away with a victory this week. The Cardinals, I think they're a good team, but they've been way too spotty for me. With so much on the line in this last week of the regular season, I think the Rams come away victorious.
Well, I have the opposite. I actually have the Cardinals coming out on top of this one. This is one of my finest, 21-17. In part because it really does matter who's at the quarterback position. I understand that Sean McVay is going to have a lot of fun figuring out with John Wolford, but honestly, it probably helps to have your starter. What do you have, Greg?
It does, but I still have the Rams winning this game 21-17. I'm excited to see Wolford. He looked pretty good in the preseason, too. I've always wanted to see Sean McVay with a different quarterback, with a mobile quarterback. Maybe he'll be like Kyle Shanahan and be pretty good with his backups. I think Wolford can get it done, although I'm a little worried, Hawk. It's very rare Cynthia's on an island picking by herself, especially when she has a finest. This is a bad sign for Packers are favored by 5 in this game. This is the best game of the week, I believe, because the Packers need that home field advantage, and I have them winning by 8 points. I don't think Trubisky's played that well. I really don't over the last 4 weeks. If you watch play to play, he's made a lot of mistakes that defenses haven't been able to take advantage of. This is a tougher matchup. And oh, by the way, the Bears are missing 2 of their starting cornerbacks in this game. That's great news for Aaron Rodgers. The Packers should find a way to get it done. What do you say, Cynthia?
I say that left tackles are worth a lot, as in I only have a 4-point win for the Packers because missing Bakhtiari is a big deal. And I think that, Greg, maybe Hawk tried to kill Tanton, our producer, by saying that Trubisky was going to potentially be the Bears quarterback next season. So I'm going to pass it on to Hawk, but you got to let me know if Tanton's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit of lip service to me. I do believe that, and I think Mitch has the opportunity to make a case. I ultimately think the Packers are going to walk away with the W, even with Bakhtiari out. I think they're a team primed for this win at the end of the season and getting ready for a big playoff push. Hawks are favored in this one by 6.5. We're going right to picks here. I'm going with the Seahawks. I think Russell Wilson started this season on a quest for the MVP. It got derailed a little bit. One way to preserve that is to finish the season strong and head into the playoffs and make a lot of noise there. Also, be on the lookout for a DK Metcalf record breaker. Steve Largent's single-season receiving yards record. DK is staring it down the barrel. Cynthia, what do you got for us?
I'm with you on who wins. I have the Seahawks winning this one. The interesting part here, 28-21, by the way, the interesting part here is the addition of Carlos Dunlap. I'm going to see how this happens to bring more pressure, because this will be an indicator going forward into the playoffs of what we can expect from this defense, because pressure is really something they struggled with in the beginning of the season, and then they were kind of spotty, intermittent with kind of towards the end of the season. So I want to see the uptick there. And I'm going to be interested to see how much they blitz Russell Wilson. Do this as a little aside here, because last time what happened was they blitzed him on 17 passing attempts, and he scored 3 touchdowns against their blitz.
Yeah, I have the Seahawks winning by a lot, 33-14. It's partly because of the defensive resurgence that you mentioned, Cynthia, and that includes some players we didn't know that much about. DJ Reed has been really good at cornerback. Their rookie Jordan Brooks has been stepping up, but the margin is so big. The reason it's one of Greg's greatest, I mean, I don't actually have a little thing at the bottom like Cynthia, graphic. I haven't earned it. I'm in 3rd place, but it's because the 49ers are without Brandon Ayuk and Trent Williams and Richard Sherman and K'Wan Williams. This team was already banged up, and they lost a lot more players before Week 17. So I really like the Seahawks this week to have a great chance to win this week. They're favored by 6.5, even though Alvin Kamara is not going to be playing in this game. He tested, or he's on the COVID-19 list, rather. We know he's out this week. We don't know whether he's going to miss the playoff game, but it doesn't matter to me. I think the Saints win this game by 10 points. Drew Brees showed us something on Christmas. He doesn't have the biggest arm right now. It's kind of like late career Chad Pennington out there. So it's very tricky to build a passing game without a guy having a big arm. But if anyone can do it, it is Drew Brees. And the offensive line is really playing well. The defensive line is really playing well. And the Panthers are rather banged up in this game. So I do think the Saints will get the win. What about you, Cynthia?
I'm with you on who gets the win. The interesting part when I look at this one, I have 29-21. No Kamara means not a ton in terms of they've got great running opportunity because of that O-line. But Emmanuel Sanders, I'm going to be watching him specifically because if for some reason Michael Thomas isn't able to return in the beginning of the playoffs or something happens there, it's going to be Sanders who really needs to step up. So I'm going to be tracking this one specifically. And this is a good defense to do it against because they've been porous. But I want to see the connection with Drew Brees because this will be a key factor for their playoff hopes.
Absolutely. I like that angle, and I'm picking the Saints as well. And even with no Alvin Kamara, you're right. I mean, Drew Brees is prime in these situations, and this is an opportunity for them to continue to build chemistry heading into the playoffs with players outside of the guys that they typically rely on, like Michael Thomas, like Alvin Kamara. So I expect them still to walk away with a W. We got the Titans at Texans. Titans are favored in this one by 7.5, getting right to picks. I'm going with the Titans because Derrick Henry, if you remember the last time these two teams played, he went off on this team, and there was nothing they could do about it. This D-line, this defense got bullied by this run game, and I expect much of the same this week. Big-time rushing game for the Titans, Derrick Henry specifically. Cynthia, what do you got?
I have Derrick Henry projected for more than 100 yards, and I also have the Titans winning as well, 30-23 in this one. I want to talk to you about an A.J. Brown touchdown because that's going to happen. So when you look to see the opportunity, it is both on the ground and through the air, and we've seen Ryan Tannehill complete way more touchdown passes than we anticipated this season. I don't have that stopping in this game.
No, I don't think the Texans defense is going to do much. I have the Titans winning 44-30. You might say 74. That's a big number.
Wow.
Hey, the last time these two teams played, it was 77. There's no Laramie Tunsil in this game for Houston. Tennessee has 440 burgers this year. So I think they can make it a fifth. It'll be good eating down in Houston, and I do think they're going to win the division. Next up, we have the Jags and the Colts. The Colts are favored by 14 points in this game. I have the Colts winning by 13. So I don't think it's quite that big, but it's enough. They will be without Anthony Costanzo, their left tackle, for the rest of the season. Really a bummer how the second half went for the Colts last week, and now losing Costanzo, they might be the first 11-win team to miss the playoffs since 2002. Only the second since expansion. That's just crazy. It's bad luck. Cynthia, what do you think?
I have a nice big win for the Colts. Of course, Anthony Costanzo is a big factor. I have a 15-point win in this one, 32-17. The interesting part here, when you look to see Dare Ogunbowale and his potential to step in for James Robinson, it's going to be a nice day for your fantasy daily lineups. And so that's one that I'm looking to get in there because I think his yardage could be up closer to 70. So that's kind of an interesting takeaway.
Yeah, I'm going with Colts over Jags as well. I mean, the Colts are a much better football team at this juncture. The Jaguars are getting ready to draft one of the best quarterbacks that we've seen in a very long time. Congratulations there. Everybody wins. All right, let's take a look at some more picks from this week. We're all going with the Chargers after the news that Mahomes and a bunch of starters for Kansas City, potentially Mahomes won't play. Chad Henne graduated high school in Pennsylvania the same year that I did.
Ooh.
He's still in the league. That's wild. Yeah, we're all
Fun
old.
Chad Henne
Cynthia,
fact. Wasn't expecting one of those today.
There you go. You got the Jets over the Patriots, Cynthia?
Ooh.
Yeah, I think this is one of those situations where this is a very important game to the Jets and probably not quite as important to the Patriots. So I think this is a Jets kind of, does Sam Darnold continue as their quarterback situation? I think that's the narrative that the model is looking
I know
at.
the model doesn't have feelings, but the model's been riding the Gase bandwagon, and you know what? It's been right the last couple of weeks. You can't knock it.